Welcome to the stream, folks. It's Friday night and you've probably got a better thing to do, so I'm not expecting a heck of a lot of people on here tonight, but we shall see how it goes and hopefully we'll get a few viewers. And with that, I'm just checking a few things. I'll be there in a second. Okay. And time to get going. So we have basically finished off a decent bit of our intermediate level. Okay. And we made a few things which I'm going to show you now. Earlier on, we made an interactive item which was picture select. Okay, so we made this interact item. We added an interface to it, and then we gave it an event that activates interact action. That is fired by our controller when they hit the interact button. So let me just show you that. So this is in the pawn, and you'll see here that if we have an interact item, then we basically interact and that passes it through, and we also set the interact item in our pawn controller when they overlap it. Okay, and the effect is that also when we do the interaction, we bring up a widget to show that you can interact with it. Okay, so with that in mind, let's have a look at it in action. When we unhover, this is us setting up our interact item. So if we overlap the picture, it interacts, and then we draw the widget. And if they unhover it, or they undo the overlap, then we reset the interact item to nothing, and we basically clear any interact widgets. Okay? So, with that in mind, let's have a look at how that works, shall we? So, when we walk up to an item and we interact, it gives us a little widget, right? Now, if I'm not interacting with anything and I hit the button, I'm hitting the spacebar here, nothing actually happens, okay? But, if I walk up to it, now, I'm going to do this one because this is the only one with a level, right? But I've set this one up as well, so you can interact with that one. And if we interact with this one, now we hit the space bar. Well, it's actually H. You'll see that that takes us into our level. Okay? So, what we're going to do is now set up our next interactive item, which is going to be our wood stocky thing, right? So it's this BP wood block, and we're going to reparent it. Okay, and it's going to be to interact item. Okay, and if we now look, we have BP interact. Okay, So we are going to not do this. We're going to move it. Okay. But what we're going to do is we're going to do interact action, and that is going to go right in here. Okay, so this, we're only going to smash it when we interact with it. Okay, and we are also going to do the end. Okay, and what we'll do is we'll move this below it so that we keep these two things together. Right, and if we now go to our picture level select, we can actually do this. We can copy that, right, we can go to our wood block and we can paste this in. That goes to true. Okay, we plug this in. Then we can basically copy this as well. So we'll duplicate that. We'll bring it down here a bit. Then we shall bring these down here. And this is where things get interesting, because there's one little change that we need to make that is going to make the icon different from the open door, right? So we're going to have basically a break icon. Well, it's not a break icon, I can't remember what icon it is. I think it's a fist. Right, and in here the image is going to be number 1, and that's all we need to do, I believe. Right, so with that in mind, we can press play. We can go to this item and interact with it, which is the H button, and here is the thing, that if we run to this, we get a fist, and then we H it. Okay, so if we wanted, we could do this with the door as well, but as you can see, we have interaction where we want it. Okay, now we could make these into a certain, we could compact these down, but I think we'll leave it at that because we're quite happy with that particular look. So basically the way this is going to work, and I think what we'll do is we'll go to our menu. So if we go to our main menu, and this new game is probably going to end up as play game. And then this continue is probably going to go away. I'm going to go for that's not going to be there any longer, but we'll leave it at that for now. So the point is here that if we look at our maps, the way this is going to play is the following. Right, so if we press play, okay, we can get our credits and stuff, that's all working. As I said, continue is probably going to disappear, but if we play the game, it takes us into our intermediate level. Right, so basically this is your level select. These pictures are obviously going to change, right? But this is just for testing purposes. And now when I do that, I can jump into a level, right? And we're not hitting many wood blocks here. Right, but we're hitting one here. Right, and we need to hit the button. Okay. That's the end of the level, but that's all working rather nicely. Okay, so what did you think of that, guys? I think now the thing is to actually fix out this level, right? And to do that, we probably need the directional light turned on. So we go to the settings on our directional light, stick it to 10, and now we can see what we're doing. Take the navigation off, and we can just basically work on this. Okay. Right, so if we want to work on the map, it's pretty easy. All we need to do is get the layout parts. And start working on it. Right. Set that to 0. And the question is, what part is that? And that's a turn, so that's turning that way. Okay. And this is a turn. And we're turning that way. And we've got this set on the wrong thing. Because that doesn't look right to me. Right, tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to delete that. Then we're going to put this back to 100. And then we've got a turn here, so we can just duplicate that one. Then we need to rotate it. Right, so that's it there. That's it there. Right, and then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add another turn, and that's going to get rotated 90 in that direction. And my mouse is being very sticky today. And perfect. And believe it or not, we need another turn. And it's going to look like that. And it's going to look like that. Okay. And then we're going to need 3 of these. We'll duplicate them. Right, but I don't want this to kind of join up like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another turn. And we're going to do that. Then we're going to move it. And it's going to join on here. Then we're going to use this and turn it again. Right. Then we're going to turn it there. And then this one, we're going to do another turn. Right. And it's going to actually be that way. Okay. And we're going to click on that, and that's a door. We don't want a door. What we want is a T-junction. Right, and that is a 4-way. That shouldn't be a 4-way. Okay, So we want a T. And that's going to go like that. It's going to go like that. And there we go. All we need now is basically two of these. Now, I think I've actually blown that. Did I copy them? Yeah, I did. So we'll join that up. Then this one will join up. Then these two will move. And there we go. Right, now the interesting thing here is to find out so we have 118 pickups now. Okay. And we're basically going to do a few of these. And there we go. Okay. And now we can copy a turn, drag it out. We're going to spin it 90 degrees. Drag it into place. And what we can do is we can add one of these. Then we can add a turn. And we need to spin it 90 degrees. Okay. Then we can do another one. And another turn. that's going to be that way. And drag it there. And that's going well. We can certainly go with 3, I think. Possibly even 4. So now what I think I'm going to do here is, I think we need like possibly this one moves and becomes a door. Or this one, or maybe even this one, right? And that's going to lead straight over here, right? But in the meantime, I'm going to do another turn. And it's going to be that way. So, what are you guys up to tonight? What are you guys all up to tonight? Oh, that's not quite right. That is. And we can add another one of these and drag it into place. We can drag one of these. It's not going to be in place because it's going to move when I turn it, but that's fine. Won't worry too much about that. And it's going to be like that. Okay. So now we've done that, we can either come off here or come off here, right? Or if we really wanted to, we could come off here and slap down a T-junction here. Right? I think that's what we might do actually. Or no. What we should do is change this one here. Right? So what we'll do is we'll duplicate that one. Right? We'll undo that. We'll drag that over there. And we'll replace this one with this one. But But first we're going to have to make sure that it's the right, facing the right direction. So it would appear that that there is the right direction, and now all we need to do is plop it into place. Okay, then for this one all we need to do is change the angle, and is that right, or have I got that one too many? Nope, that's right. Okay, so now all we need to do is duplicate that, pull it over, pop it into place, and there we go. And now if we duplicate these, right, then we can do another turn. So we can drive this, and I believe we want it like, not like that. It's going to be like that. And then we can do it again. And our turn is going to be like that. We can join this back up again. And there we go. And my idea here is this a door? Yeah, it is. So I'm going to duplicate that. Okay. And it's going to be that way. And we need a straight or something. We need a straight or something to, in fact we might even need two. Right, so we'll select two, we'll duplicate them. Right, and then we're going to bring them in here. Okay, and now our door just needs moved to there. Right? And now we basically just need these two to join the whole thing up again. Okay, so we now have only one position there, but the thing we want to check out here is how many. There we go, we're up to 145. Okay, and what we should actually do, right, this is our starting position, and basically our monster is over here. He starts right there, right? So what we should actually do is drag him out and put him somewhere away, out the way for the moment, like over here for example. And if we move him over there, that's going to be fine, right? He's not going to bother us. He's going to, well, he might bother us eventually, right? But the point is just to get him kind of out the way for the moment. Right. And yeah, that looks like a good place for him. Okay. And this is the part we're, don't know what the part we're working on was, but we're over here somewhere. Right, so this is the part we're working on over here. Right, and what was it we were on? 145. I believe it was 145, wasn't it? Yeah, we're on 145. So we've got lots to work with here. And we've got lots of space to work with. Well, we've got the rest of the universe to work with, but anyway. Now, what I'm going to suggest here is we kind of do a similar thing over on this side, right? There's going to be something similar on this side that brings us down to this side of the map, right? So we can do something with that. Right, so what we can do now is we could set this into a four-way. That's a door at the moment. Right, so we could maybe set like a four-way there. Or we could change that to a T-junction. Right? So we'll move this we'll see which way. It looks like it's going to be this way. Okay, so all rather takes time, but should be worth it in the end. Right, and this one, actually, you know what? That's a good turn. And we can do another turn. And we're going to have to spin it round. Okay. So that has basically done that. Then we can copy a couple of them. Drag them to there. That's a little too far. Okay. Then we can do another turn. And I believe we need to sling it 90. Okay. We can do a duplicate there. And we can do another duplicate. And then we need to do a turn. And that's fine. Then we can drag it in. Duplicate a couple of them. In fact, it's not a couple of them. It's a couple of these. Okay. And drag these into place. We're going to save our content. We're going to do a save all. We're going to press play. And we now have 155. So we're gradually getting there as far as this goes. and this is the part we're working on here. So what we can actually do is we can select these parts and duplicate them. Now I do believe that this might work. If we do that, well, apparently not. Okay, whatever. Right, I thought I was being clever there, but not quite clever by half. Right, so this one needs to go like so. Don't know what that message is all about, but whatever. Right, so this one is going to be like so, and we'll join this back on. Then we join these two in the selection, and then we join it up. Okay, we'll just check this one. Yep, that seems right. Yep, it's looking good. And I believe this is going to have to be a T-junction. Right? Or one of these will be a T-junction, I suppose. And that's going to go like that, then like that, then we're going to duplicate it, and we're going to spin it around. And it's going to be like that. And there appears to be something a bit weird going on here. Okay. Right, so it looks like this isn't right, which means that, and that aren't quite right. Okay. So now we're sorted. We can carry on. We can join these up, and that's fine. Okay, so we've got a nice set of stuff there. How many do we'll save that for now? Press play, run forward, get the map, and we have 163. So we're getting there as far as the number of pickups that we require. There isn't really a number that we require as such, but we want over 200, which we're going to get easy enough. And on that, I'm going to have a quick cigarette break. So if you're enjoying the video, hit like and subscribe. Want to get to 500 subscribers, and check out the description for Discord and ways to support the channel through Patreon. My previous game on Steam. I shall be right back. Don't go anywhere. Okay, we are back. And we shall add a turn here. And then we shall start working on something in code, shall we? This should take us up to what, 170 pickups or something like that. Press play. We're up to 166. Okay, so that's fine. That's fine for now. Okay, now while I was doing this, I've realised that what we probably need to do is make a few more parts, like a turn that's also got a door and stuff like that, like a T-junction that's got a door, a four-way that's got a door, or something like that as well, because that would give us a bit more variety. This first level is obviously built in a certain way, and we are going to add some more parts to this. But in the meantime, what I'm going to do is we're going to open up my previous game, and we're going to look at copying some of the menu code. Okay, so in the meantime, I'm going to do save all. And we're going to take a look at this. So we're going to go to maps again, and we're going to go to the main menu, and we're going to bring up the main menu widget, and in fact we're also going to open the options menu. Okay, and we shall minimize these and work on each one as we're doing it. Now I believe that the key bindings is done, which is the fourth one. Right, so if we go to options, key bindings, yeah, I've lost some of my code on this one from the other night, so we're going to have to add them in, and we're going to get that and that and that, and that's not actually, that is the one we want. So we're going to get that and delete them, and we have V action bindings, right? But they're not getting filled. And that's because this has been redone, and this is interact. Right, I've lost some code here. Well, actually I've not lost code, I've actually got too much here. And we don't have that, so what we need to do is, I think this is now interact with item, and we're gonna have to add spaces to that. There we have interact with item. And we can stop that. Then we're going to add spaces in. Okay, we're going to save that. We're going to go to project settings. We're going to go to input. I've left all the default ones here, right, so that we can copy whatever settings we need across. And we'll do save all. Press play. Options, key bindings, interact with item, blah blah blah. Okay, now the next thing we want to do is we want to go to designer, and on our actual key bindings, that's fine, but this box here, in fact this scroll box needs a 650 offset on this side, I believe. And there we go. Okay. And that's working well. Right. So we can change these, and that'll all be good. And we can change this back to spacebar. And that's good. Okay. And the next thing that we're going to have to do is actually save our display settings and stuff like that, basically. So I'm going to be working across two projects here. HUD. Okay, so we're at the HUD now. Got all that sorted out. And basically we need to do that. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do here is set a display to the user settings. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a function. We're going to say set display to user settings, and we are basically going to do that. Okay. And that looks good. Combo box window mode. Right, so I'm guessing it's this one. Right, so we delete that and we set that. Okay. And now we go back to our event graph and we basically drag this in and do this. Okay. And these combo boxes that we're using for, right, I'll show you what I mean. These things here in the previous in my previous menu, these were sliders, right? So you could actually slide these, and basically the text changed as you slide them, right? Whereas in this one, we've just got them as a combo box. So we need to do a little bit with that, as well as change that colour. I wish it would stop doing that. Right, so we're going to minimize that, and it's the visuals, which is the third one. Right, and we're going to be selecting all of these. And getting them all sorted out so they ain't blue. Right, so once again, as I've said before, this is kind of the boring part of developing, but it's just so necessary that you get this right. And it's still got that blue, and it seems to be like on pressed. Yeah, I was right. This should actually be 1, 0, and 0. And let's check on the chat. And nobody's speaking tonight, I'm afraid. Okay. And we're going to get, right, okay. So what we're going to do now is, for the first, at the start here, right, we're just going to do the standard thing. Okay, now I might change these to be a bit cooler, right, but in theory we're going to set visuals, visual combo boxes. Okay, so get user settings. Right, and we're going to be doing a sequence here. It's going to have 1 pin for all of the different combinations. Right, and the first one we're going to do is get anti-aliasing quantity. Get anti-aliasing quality is what we want, and then we're going to get combo box AA. this is an integer, so it's not that one, so it's going to be set selected index, and that's going to go in there. Okay, so we can either do it like that or like that, something like that, right? And that's going to go in there. So if we look at the designer, it's post-process and then texture quality. Let's see if these are the same. Yeah, pretty much. Right, okay. So we're going to be using this user settings a lot, so we'll just drag out that in our reroute node, and then we'll just say post get post processing quality. We'll duplicate that. That's going to go in there. That is going to go in there. And we'll be doing this one. Okay. And I believe the next one is texture quality. Paste that. Drag this down a bit. And the next thing we're going to have to do is, obviously we're going to have to do the actual setting of these, right? Because this is just going to return what they are. And if we change them, well, we don't actually need to do that. We can do it a slightly different way. So we can file and we can save all. And after the texture quality, so we have effects, shading, shadow. Okay. So we have effects, we have shading, and then we have shadow. Okay. And then we can duplicate that, then again, then again. Now the thing to remember here is these were all set to high, and I don't know if that's actually what they were or are. Right, now we do need to plug these in. As I said, this is like the basics basically. This is the basic, very basic way to do it. Now normally I will go and change these, right, and do something a bit more interesting with it. Save that, and we want shading. And shadow. We can save all that. Save all. And now, if we go back to our event graph, we can go back to our functions and basically do that. Okay. We can press play, options, and there we see that our anti-aliasing is set to medium. So it is doing its thing. Now I'm wondering if we can set these. Yeah, we can probably set them in the project settings or something, but we should be able to set these now, right, with the combo boxes. So if we go to the combo box, and okay, let's go to designer. And if we click on the combo box, we can actually do these. Right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a whole new section here. I need to know what it doesn't matter what this is. Right, okay, we'll not worry about that. What we're going to do is we're going to get the combo box AA. Then we're going to get selected index. Right, and then we're going to say user settings, and we're going to say we're going to set anti-aliasing quality to that, right? And we're basically going to do that for them all. Right, so the next one was post-processing, right? So I can basically get all of these, right? Which would be the best idea. So if I do that, on change, then we do the same here, on change, and I don't know why I can't do it from here. Right, so that's texture. So we've got A, interesting. Right, this is the effects, so we can do it there. And that one. And then we finish it off with this one here. And that gives us all our text box, all our combo boxes, right? And then we can basically wrap that in a comment, right? Set visual with combo boxes. Okay. And then we just basically set this to black. Okay, that. And drag that out a bit. Then we can drag that down a bit. And we duplicate that. And for this one, post-processing. So that's post-processing. We set it. And that's in there. And we plug that in there. Okay. And we paste, duplicate that again. If it lets us. Plug that in. And so that was PP. And we'll do effects next. Drag that in. And we see effects. Plug that in. And plug that in, and now we're not doing PP. We'd as well doing it in order. It doesn't really matter. Oh, wait a minute. Right. We need to do them in the right one. So that's PP, that's AAA. Then this is going to be texture. Right. So that is not going to go in there. So this one is texture. And that goes in there. And this one is the effects. So this one's fine. And that goes in there. We can delete that. Right. And our next one we get, this one is shading, so that goes in there. Not exactly exciting stuff, is it? But hey ho, it needs done. We set the shading quality. And as you can see, my computer's decided to start moving around on its own for a little minute. And then it gets its shit together again. And we're back in the game. And this is the shadow. So we drag in shadow. That goes there. Then we can drag that down a bit. And this is set shadow quality. And that goes in there. And that's us. So let's just check this out. A and A-listen. Post-processing is post-processing. Texture to texture. And make sure we've got the right combo. Right, we have. Then we've got effects. That's effects. And that's effects. That's shading, shading, shading. And shadow, shadow, shadow. Excellent. So now, in theory, we should be able to test this. If we go to options, visuals, okay, and now we've got all our different settings, but we're gonna have to not put these in these boxes aren't big enough. Right? So we need these to be smaller. Like, let's say 25. And these also. And that's going to be 20. So I'm going with the scale box thing, right? And I'm going 20 on them. And I'm saving that. And then save all. Press play. Options. Visuals. Yep. That's looking nice. Right. So high cinematic, low medium, low cinematic. Working like a treat. So I'm just wondering here, if I set this to low, right, let's wait a minute. Let's set absolutely everything to low. I'm telling you, the game looks exactly the same. Right? Doesn't seem to make any difference at all on my computer when I do this. Right? Whether I set them all to low, or all to high, or all to cinematic, or whatever. Right? I suppose the only thing here to do would be to like have a frame rate check to see if it's actually doing anything. But you'll notice these are all high. Going to have to do something with these as well, but we know how to do that on the scale box. So I think that's what we'll do. Right, what we'll do is we'll click on this. and you'll notice that we have a scale box right, but these are 30, right? So we can make them 25. In fact, we'll make them 20, and then that's not the skill box. Alright. Select the skill box. We'll undo that one. Right, that's fine. Call these 30. Okay, we're not going to call them 30, we're going to call them 20. And we're going to undo that. Damn it. Right, hang on a second. Right, this thing here. Right. That's 35. Right, so that should be 35. Okay. That is 35. That's 20. That's 20. And this thing should be wrapped in a scale box as well. Right. And the scale box on that is 20. So that should be 20. Okay. And that gets us all set up nicely. That's fine. And that's fine. Okay. So this is the one that we need to do some applying to. Okay. But we're going to do that another night. So it's Friday night. I hope you've enjoyed the stream. If you have, hit like and subscribe. If you want to support the channel, check on the description for Patreon and my previous game, which is available on Steam. And you can also join my Discord. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and I shall see you tomorrow at 2 PM Central. Bye bye for now.